everyone and welcome to our channel. This video is on safeguarding research integrity with the key findings matrix. After watching this video, you will know the meaning and types of literature review, the steps in conducting a literature review, and the meaning and importance of a key findings matrix in research. Let's start with the meaning and types of literature review. A literature review is a structured and critical examination of existing scholarly work that relates to a specific research topic or question. It is not just about summarizing what previous studies have said. Instead, it involves analyzing, comparing, and evaluating the methodologies, findings, and theoretical contributions of those studies. The goal is to provide a clear understanding of what is currently known in the field and to show how various studies are connected or differ from each other. By conducting a literature review, the researcher uncovers key concepts, major theories, ongoing debates, and common methodological approaches that have shaped the field so far. Literature reviews are classified into subtypes based on either their focus or their objectives. The types of literature review based on their focus include empirical review. This type of review focuses on studies involving primary data collection, which includes surveys, experiments, interviews, and other first-hand data gathering methods. It also includes studies utilizing secondary data. This involves analysis of pre-existing data sets, archival records, or systematic data compilation. On the other hand, non-empirical review includes theoretical review. This evaluates and synthesizes existing theories, models, or frameworks. It also includes conceptual review, which explores how key concepts are defined, interpreted, and applied in the literature. Another non-empirical review is methodological review, which critically examines research methods and techniques that are used in a specific field. Non-empirical review also includes historical review, which traces the development of a concept, theory, or issue over time. The types of literature reviews based on their objectives, in which case each of them is a study design and constitute a subtype of research review designs and can be empirical or non-empirical. This includes systematic reviews with or without a meta-analysis. Systematic reviews use structured protocol to identify, appraise, and summarize evidence from multiple sources. Meta-analysis statistically combine results to provide full effect estimates. Another type is copy reviews. Copy reviews explore the breadth and depth of literature on a topic without focusing on quality assessment. Another type is narrative reviews. Narrative reviews provide a descriptive and thematic synthesis of literature on a topic. They focus on theoretical, conceptual, or contextual insights without structured protocol. Another type is umbrella reviews. Umbrella reviews synthesize findings from multiple systematic reviews and meta-analysis. They offer a high-level summary of evidence across reviews on a single topic. And finally, we have integrative reviews. Integrative reviews combine diverse sources, be it quantitative, qualitative, and theoretical studies. They provide a holistic understanding and can generate new frameworks or theoretical perspectives. Now let's proceed to the steps in conducting a literature review. There are 7 steps in conducting a literature review. This includes defining the research question. The first step is to define the research question. A research question guides the entire literature review process. It identifies the focus area, and set the scope of what needs to be explored. The second step is to conduct a comprehensive literature search. This involves systematically identifying all relevant published and unpublished sources that are related to your research question. Databases, journals, institutional repositories, and great literature sources are typically searched. The goal is to gather a wide and balanced body of evidence and to avoid biases or narrow viewpoints. The third step is to select and evaluate sources. After gathering potential sources, the next step is to screen them for quality and relevance. This involves reading the abstracts and full text to determine their significance to the research question. Critical appraisal tools can be used to assess the methodological quality, credibility, and reliability of each source. Preference is given to peer-reviewed, up-to-date, and scholarly works. The fourth step is to organize the literature. This step involves categorizing and arranging selected sources into logical themes or topics. Literature can be organized chronologically, thematically, methodologically, or conceptually, depending on the research purpose. A very important tool in organizing the literature is the key findings matrix, which is usually created in Microsoft Excel. The fifth step is to synthesize key findings. This synthesis involves integrating insights from various sources to provide a comprehensive understanding of the topic. It goes beyond summarizing by comparing, contrasting, and interpreting findings. The sixth step is to write the review. This is the stage where the organized and synthesized findings are articulated in a coherent written form. The review should have an introduction, a body, which is usually structured around key themes, and a conclusion. The introduction part defines the topic, the scope, and the purpose of the study. The body is organized by theme, method, chronology, or argument, while the conclusion summarizes the findings, identify gaps, and justify your research. The narrative should be clear, concise, and logically structured. The final step is to reference accurately. Accurate referencing is essential to acknowledge sources and avoid plagiarism. It demonstrates academic integrity and allows readers to trace the origin of ideas. Now let's examine the meaning and importance of a key findings matrix in research. A key findings matrix is a structured tool which is often created in Microsoft Excel and used to systematically extract, organize, and compare important information from a collection of literature sources such as journal articles, books, reports, and theses. Each column typically represents a different study or source, while the rows capture key attributes or variables of interest, such as the author and year of publication, study title, research aim and objectives, study design, sample size and population, study setting, key findings, strengths and limitations, gaps or recommendations, and relevance of the study to your research question. The matrix does serve as a visual and analytic tool that enable researchers to synthesize vast amounts of information in a clear, organized, and comparable format. The key findings matrix plays a critical role in the literature review process, especially in the context of conducting systematic, scoping, or integrated reviews. The importance of a key findings matrix is such as follows. The key findings matrix enables efficient extraction of key information from multiple sources. The matrix allows researchers to extract and record the most important and relevant details from numerous sources in a standardized manner. This process ensures that no vital piece of information is overlooked, and the literature is analyzed based on comparable criteria. Also, insights from diverse sources are captured in a single location. This is particularly useful when adding large volumes of literature, as it reduces cognitive overload and helps in focusing on the more relevant content. The key findings matrix facilitates comparable analysis across studies by arranging the findings of multiple studies side by side in a structured format. The matrix makes it easy to compare and contrast similarities and differences in research outcomes. Also, variations in methodologies and context, and conflicting or converging evidence on key themes. This comparative analysis is vital in identifying patterns, contradictions, or trends across the literature, which can inform the synthesis and narrative of the review. The key finding matrix supports evidence synthesis and team development. As a researcher populates the matrix, recurring topics and patterns become more visible. This enables development of the thematic categories, identification of conceptual frameworks or theoretical gaps, and drawing meaningful conclusions that feed into the review's argument or justification for new research. In qualitative synthesis or thematic analysis, this function becomes even more powerful in developing goals and themes grounded in evidence. The key findings matrix organizes literature in a way that enhances access and referencing. Using Microsoft Excel allows researchers to create an interactive library of the studies. Articles can be hyperlinked directly from the matrix for quick access. The filtering and sorting features help to retrieve specific types of studies or findings on demand. Also, document folders can be linked or indexed, creating an organized reference management system. This digital organization saves time during the writing phase and ensures smoother transitions from analysis to manuscript preparation. The key findings matrix promotes transparency and rigor in research, especially in systematic or scoping reviews. The key findings matrix offers an audit trail of the evidence base. It demonstrates the breadth and depth of literature considered, the process of study selection analysis, and the foundation upon which conclusions are drawn. This contributes to the credibility, reproducibility, and scholarly rigor of the review. The key finding matrix enhances collaboration in research teams. In collaborative research settings, a well-designed matrix can serve as a shared workplace where team members assign and track articles for review, record observations and notes, and co-analyze findings in real time. This streamlines communication and ensures that everyone is on the same page, literally and figuratively. And last but not the least, the key findings matrix prevents harmful use of artificial intelligence in research. Harmful use of artificial intelligence in research refers to the unethical, inappropriate, or irresponsible application of AI tools, technologies, or systems by students or scholars in ways that compromise the integrity, credibility, originality, and transparency of scholarly research. The types of harmful use of AI in research include plagiarism and ghostwriting via AI tools, data fabrication and manipulation, inappropriate automation of literature reviews, undisclosed AI assistance, breach of confidentiality in peer review or data use, and undermining learning and cognitive development. The adverse effects of harmful AI use in research include compromised academic integrity, erosion of research quality and credibility, ethical and legal risk, misinformation and scientific misconduct, devaluation of scholarly efforts, dependency and cognitive laziness, and breach of data privacy. Employing a key findings matrix minimizes unethical AI use in research by encouraging active engagement with literature A key findings matrix requires students and scholars to read and understand each source, extract relevant information such as research objectives, methodologies, findings, and conclusions, and also critically compare and contrast the findings from multiple studies. This prevents AI misuse by discouraging the passive use of AI tools for automated summarization or content generation without engaging with the original sources. This strengthens researchers' grasp of the literature and reduces dependence on AI-generated interpretations. A key findings matrix also minimizes unethical use in research by promoting originality and critical thinking. In building a matrix, the researcher interprets and synthesizes findings in their own words, rather than copy content verbatim or relying on AI to do the thinking. This prevents AI misuse by reducing the temptation to copy AI-generated summaries or plagiarizing AI-written content. It fosters independent thought and genuine academic contribution. A key findings matrix also minimizes unethical use in research by ensuring verifiability and source traceability. Each entry in a key findings matrix is directly linked to a specific source, such as the author, the year, the title, or the journal. The structure forces the researcher to keep accurate record of references and verify that the information extracted is real and correctly attributed. This prevents AI misuse by preventing the use of hallucinated references, which is a common issue with AI-generated biographies. Hallucinated references are fabricated or inaccurate citations that appear to be real but do not correspond to any actual source. The key findings matrix holds the researcher accountable for cross-checking sources, thereby improving research credibility. A key findings matrix also minimizes unethical AI use in research by limiting data fabrication and misrepresentation. The matrix format is based on extracting existing findings, not creating new data. This discourages fabrication of results and insertion of unfounded claims generated by AI tools. This prevents AI misuse by anchoring the researcher to empirical evidence and actual publications, thus minimizing the chance of introducing fake findings or synthetic data through AI. A key findings matrix also minimizes unethical AI use in research by aiding in a transparent documentation of the literature review process. A well-structured key findings matrix can be presented as part of an appendix or audit trail for the literature review process, thus making it easier for supervisors, assessors, or journal editors to verify the work. This prevents AI misuse by providing proof of manual effort and intellectual engagement with literature, thus making it difficult to pass off AI-generated summaries as original work. A key findings matrix also minimizes unethical AI use in research by reinforcing ethical research habits. Using the key findings matrix builds discipline in literature synthesis and demonstrates how research evolves from ground evidence. This prevents AI misuse by modeling ethical practices in literature handling, thus discouraging shortcuts enabled by over-reliance on AI tools. Finally, a key findings matrix minimizes unethical AI use in research by improving understanding of research gaps and justification. Because the matrix helps identify trends, inconsistencies, and gaps in existing literature, it supports better research problem definition and justification. This prevents AI misuse by avoiding vague or AI-suggested research gaps that may not be grounded in real evidence. In conclusion, the key findings matrix is more than just a spreadsheet. It is a valuable tool for fostering critical thinking, evidence synthesis, and structured research organization by requiring the careful extraction, comparison, and documentation of key ideas from multiple sources. It strengthens deep reading, critical analysis, source accuracy, and academic integrity. As AI use in research grows, often at the expense of research quality and genuine learning, the key findings matrix serves as a practical intervention to uphold scholarly standards. Accordingly, supervisors and academic institutions should mandate its use and submission for verification and validation at all levels of student and training research. To explore this topic further, get your copy of Essentials of Research Methodology for students and professionals if you haven't already. To buy the Essentials of Research Methodology for students and professionals and the student-friendly statistics for health, life, and social sciences books, please access the other forms at the address shown. Watch out for our next video on Master how to organize literature with the key findings matrix. The video will guide you step by step on how to build the key findings matrix in MS Excel.